G'day punters, welcome to Victims of the Punt. We've got Randwick with the, do I call them make-believe races? Look, we've got the Bondi and the Invitational anyway, the Invitation. First running of the Invitation, Mark Shean. What's your thoughts of the race overall?
Look, it's not a bad field. It's interesting that they've tossed up $2 million for this race in the spring. The Coolmore Classic for years has been the sort of preeminent fillies and mares race. Certainly in Sydney it was, in Australia for some time, the only Group 1. It's worth $600,000. And the Queen of the Turf was elevated to a Group 1 a couple of years ago in the autumn, and it's worth $1 million. Now we're throwing double that at a new race with probably fields a little bit weaker than both those two races. So it's a very interesting concept. And then, of course, we've got the Bondi, which is probably a better race this year than it has been in the last 2 years to some extent, but nevertheless, it's still a B-grade race compared to for the money that you're throwing at it.
Yeah, certainly agree with that. Look, out the window, how does it look? What's the forecast for the weekend?
We had a storm last night, so we got about 4 or 5 mil last night in the east. They irrigated the track on Wednesday night, I believe. So it's come up a good 4 so far, but we've got a beautiful day today. So I think the track will probably be in the good range or just have the cut out of it. So it should be okay.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, welcome to you. Are you forecasting anything in terms of how the track might play?
Well, the rail's out quite a long way. Through last week for the Everest meeting, now out to 8 for most of the track. And I think you just have to assume that on pace will be favoured in most cases, and the inside 2 lanes as well. The only situation in which swoopers, so to speak, would be suited is if it were wet, and it looks like that's not going to be the case at all. So hopefully it's just an advantage and not essential to be on pace and inside, but we'll have to wait until tomorrow to see what transpires. Randwick's patterns can be a little inconsistent.
Okay. We're going to preview races 3 and then 6 through 10. So we'll start with race 3, which is the Brian Crowley listed race over 1,200 metres. Short favourite in Able Willie at $2.10. Mazu is $6. Zarastro is $6.50. Everything else is double figures from there. Mark Shean, is it as simple as one runner here?
Well, look, he was impressive winning on debut. Goes straight to a stakes race, but probably a stakes race in name only. There's a lot of horses coming out of restricted company going into this race. Mazu's dropping back in grade. Look, it's not an ideal draw. He's got barrier number 9 and does a lot wrong. He's a hard goer. He pulled very hard in his trial. He was able to find cover in the trial since he won, but whether he'll be able to find some cover here is interesting. I wonder if the stablemate president is label urgent here from barrier number 1 to maybe go forward. Now, he led when he won the Skyline Stakes, and he got back in the field and seemed to resent that last time out. So, there could be extra pace with him. And Mizzou's got pacifiers on to try and get him to settle. So I think they'll try and find some cover on him. So pace a little bit up in the air. Look, I don't know if I could take 210. He might win over Willie, but that's a bit skinny from that barrier. If he'd drawn a better marble and was guaranteed of getting a smother, then I probably would have hooked into him, but that just looks a little bit too short for me. Look, Zarastro's a big query for mine. I thought he's trialled really well. He ran second to Pulele on debut. His 2 trials have been good, hasn't drawn great himself. And Mazu, with pacifiers on and an inside draw, I think if he finds cover, he'll be a much better horse and ridden for speed at his last couple of starts. So a bit too short for me, the 5. Query on 7 in the yard, but I think probably at the price at the moment, Mazu is the value.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, any thoughts for race 3 for yourself?
Yeah, that's more or less the way I saw it. I really wanted, when I saw the fields, I really wanted to find Able Willie, but once I'd done my map and saw the first prices, I don't know if he gets in or not, really. I mean, he's outside barrier, field of 9. He's not really a go-forward horse on what we've seen. He could be posted, and on a day when being posted might be the end of you. So he's a no for me at the price. I'm a big fan of the horse. I think he won against the pattern that day on debut. I think he's got a ton of ability, but this just sets up awfully for him. Mizzou was the one I found as probably the value bet in the race, purely because of the map. His last one before his little let-up, he was in the wrong spot in the race, Camp to Rupee, won at Kembla. Been freshened, had a gear change, and trialled nicely against some fair horses. If he lobs 1-1, and being one off the fence is okay, of course, I think he can run a good race. I have them much closer together than the market, so I suppose Mizzou is a bet.
Okay. All right. A little bit of lining up there in race 3. Race 6 is a benchmark 78 over the mile. Martin Parr is $4.80 from Shibley at $6.50. French Bonnet, $8. Mayfair Spirit is $9.50. Eliza Bill's $10. Sammy's $11. Snowfire's $12. Mark Shean, race 6 for you.
Well, look, Martin Parr's won 3 straight here, but I just think he's under the odds for mine. He beat the Denzel, who started odds on Wednesday, and there's a dead set walker. I don't know how it started that short Wednesday. And then he got all favours to win at Warwick Farm. I don't know. Unless this is a hot leaders track, I'm going to lay Martin Parr. I thought Sammy is looking for the mile and comes out of a much stronger form line than a lot of these horses have been racing against. He was in the Silver Eagle, I think it was, last start. Look, he did miss the interference, but he was wide all the way, and I think he was just warming up late. I think 1,300 was probably a bit short for him, so they're owned in the same interest, both with the blue with the white cross sashes, Martin Parr and Sammy, but I'd prefer to be on Sammy. Shibley's in good form, but opposing Martin Parr and backing Sammy.
Okay, Mark Rhoden, are you with one or the other here?
I'm not with Martin Parr as favourite, that's for sure. Yeah, it's good, the Denzel, wasn't it? It just did not budge from around $1.90 on Wednesday. It was bizarre. I laid him in the Betfair Pro Lay comp on Wednesday, so it was good to see him first beat. I don't love that form line. Good racing style, will be in the race. He's got a chance, but not as favourite for me. I'm going for Shibley, who I think has come back a nice horse, going through his grades this time in. Good win at Gosford, then very nice win at Rose Hill, I thought. He might get to midfield or beyond, so if the pattern is mad on pace, that will be a problem for him. But I actually have him marked favourite ahead of Martin Parr, so I think I have to back him. Martin Parr second pick, and Sammy was the one I found for third at double figure odds. I could certainly see myself saving on him. I wanted to give him a little hope in the Silver Eagle, but he was just a bit out of his depth there and much better suited here. Beyond that it's pretty even, but 6, 9, 12 for me.
Okay, the quaddy kicks off in race 7 with the Tatts Cup over 2,400. Zarek is favourite at $2.40 from Kefius at $6, Achievers $10. Then at $11 you have Skymax, Hush Rider, Cariff, and then $13 for Savvy Valentino. Mark Shean, thoughts on the favourite here, Zarek?
Look, short enough. Look, probably got a good chance. He's been in the worst part of the track his last 2 runs, but look, these are not races I seem to excel in, so I'd be deferring to Mark here. Look, maybe Kefius will, now he's getting up to 2,400 metres. All his best form in the UK was over this distance and in France as well. So, look, he might be, and he probably comes out of the stronger form line, although they walked in that weight for age race last time out. Short enough for me, Zarek. Yeah, I honestly don't know what to do. I'm staying out.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, have you got any thoughts here?
I think it looks his race. He was in the wrong part of the track in the Metrop, similar to Luncey's, who came out and almost beat Warning in that that very truly run St Ledger last week. I think it's the right form. If he gets any sort of run from 11, I think he'll just about win. 240 is around my price. I don't know. I wouldn't knock people over to take 240, but I wouldn't be desperate to bet against him either. Cepheus out to 2,400, yes. Markets found him as well, I think. One I could see possibly improving. Not sure if he's going sensationally, but Achiever, if it's his first go at 2,400, but if it is playing to leaders, that's where he'll be. And it'd be some sort of chance to double the figure odds, and in the same boat as Skymax, who probably was ridden a little impatiently last start and could improve, but I think it looks like Zarek's race, and if they want to risk him, I'll back him.
Okay. Let's have a look at the Bondi race 8 over the mile. Halal's favourite at $2.70 from Coastwatch at $3.30. Cotter Healy's $6.50. Royal Zeld's $9.50. DeFresney's $11. Then you're out to Arnica at $17. Mark Shean, do you have a leaning in this race?
Look, I think Halal's certainly the one to beat. He beats Coastwatch the other day. I was surprised the marker went up the other way, to tell you the truth. Halal, that's been corrected now. Halal heavily backed. Look, he's run second in the size at Randwick, second in the Champagne. He was in the wrong lane in the Champagne where the winner Captivant got up on the inside. So he's proven at the mile. He's got great Randwick form. So he beat Coastwatch the other day. I can't really see that horse turning it around unless it's massive on pace. So I'd have to be with Halal. Coda Healy could be an improver. I think they're going to ride it quieter on Saturday. He was a bit disappointing, but he did face the breeze and was jumping a bit in distance. So Arnica's the other one who may be an improver, a bit one pace though. But I think Halal wins it.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, how do you approach this race given that Coastwatch was $2.10 last start against Halal, who was $8?
I think that's the reason why Coastwatch went up favourite in the first markets. The market makers pay a lot of attention to that kind of thing. I think I use SP as a form analysis tool, but it's not everything. Halal beat him on his merits, and Coastwatch is, sixth up now or something. Very, very deep in his preparation. I think the placing in the Golden Rose, when everything panned out absolutely perfect for him, was him, and he's on the downswing now. He's running in it because it's worth $1 million. Why wouldn't you? If you're on a place, you get a good check. Anthony Cummings is no fool. He's thrown 3 in it. You get a minimum of $10,000. Why wouldn't you? This is God's way of telling Racing New South Wales they've got too much money. $1 million for this race. It's the same prize money as the Golden Rose. Sorry to go on about this, but this is it's obscene. It really is obscene. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. Halal's the best horse in the race, I think, and he's just about a bet at $2.70. I'm kicking myself I didn't take the $3.50 or whatever it was that was around earlier, but I'm a little bit reticent just because I think he probably will be midfield or beyond. And I'm a bit worried about the pattern, but if it's close to fair, I think 270 is okay. Coda Healy, I think, will go better ridden with the trail. And out of barrier 2, he might get the absolutely perfect run. If they, pushed him to much bigger than this, I could see myself actually saving on him. This Defreen, or however it's pronounced, is the one that will lead. So if it's Dynamite, I assume it'll lead. I assume its stablemate lease won't hold it out. If it is Absolute Dynamite, it would be the one you'd have to shorten. But, I think it's on a fair track. It's reasonably straightforward. Halal from Coda Healy for me.
Okay. The invitation, race 9, it's for the fillies and mares over 1,400 metres. Entrelavier is $3 from Ice Bath at $8.50. Startontes is $10. Nudge is $12. So is Vangelic. Tricky Gals $14. Sweet Deal and Forbidden Love are $15. Mark Shean, we've all been across Ice Bath for however long of our lives. Probably doesn't get the track to suit.
No, and 1,400's a bit of a quirky distance there. Randwick can be very on pace. I think we'll know by race number 9 how the track's playing. Speed-wise, it looks like Vangelic, Madam Legend, maybe Sweet Deal kicking up and Forbidden Love. They look to be the 4 who will probably sort of clear out in the early part. Madame Rouge maybe just off them, and on Trevier probably got to try and find a spot about midfield if those 4 or 5 there early sort of break away. And then there's another group that are back markers. So on Trevier could end up in a decent spot about midfield here if the things break her way. As I said, it can be a tricky race, this 1,400 metres of Randwick, where on paces can be suited. Look, I think on Trevier is probably the one to beat if the track's fair enough. I think Nudge has got some chance as well if they're running on from the back. She's a very honest mare and does race well fresh. And Tricky Gal's the other one I thought had some hope at odds, who's drawn well and will be better suited stepping up in trip. Ice Bath, I think, is probably going to give them too much start. And, I couldn't back anything else, to tell you the truth.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, your thoughts of the, whatever this thing is, this race?
Yeah. My thoughts are that if Intriviere gets the right run, she'll win. I think she's probably a good thing with luck. If she'd drawn 6 or something, rock solid chance, I reckon. But she's come up with 11. Now, that day she ran second to Fazika. She was only 3 lengths off the lead in a pretty quick run 1,200-metre race. I don't think that they just have to. I don't think they have to ride it conservatively. And if the track is playing on pace, riding it conservatively could be the end of it. I had a look at the club speed map just earlier, and it's got her like in the 3 wide train and about third last. And if she's there, I mean, she's going to be in the back with ice bath. I don't think it'll win.
Well, surely they wouldn't be that far back, Mark. She, as you say, she was 3 wide outside the lead in that race at Randwick when they were flying.
I did a map and I had her like 4th, 5th. I thought they'd ride her out of the gates and sort of half see what happens, see what it runs. And if other things like if Sweet Deal doesn't kick up for instance, she might end up 3rd.
But they had the excuse the other day, didn't they? Like they've gone to the steward, said she was in foal, drew a wide barrier. It was more like a let's just go back and see what happens.
Absolutely. I mean, if I wouldn't use that as the template for how they're going to ride her in the $2 million race at all. I think if she does lob up in the 3rd pair or something, and you can make some ground, I think she's a good thing. I mean, to be honest, I haven't got anything else in the race under double figure odds because I think they're all in a bunch. Love Ice Bath, wanted to find her, but I couldn't mark a single figure odds with this setup. Tricky Girl's the one I think is going to get a great run. I'd probably prefer a bit wetter, but nonetheless, she'll get a great run. Vangelica, I don't have a very high opinion of, is going to get all favours again. She got away with the race 2 starts ago just simply because of the pattern. And look, Nudge is flying, but has a dreadful racing style, as we know. So, look, beyond Entrivier, you could mention 7 or 8 of them, to be honest, in my opinion. But I think if things break her way, 2 to 1's probably a fair price.
Okay. That brings us to the last, race 10. Benchmark 88 over 1,200 metres. Gravina's favourite at $2.60 from Bellucci Babe, $4.80. Quantico, $7.50 from Electric Gal, and Kinlock at 12. Marway is 13. Mark Shean, round us out.
Well, he looks to be flying, Gravina, honestly. He's won 2 of his last 4 and he should have won the other 2. Got a jockey change here, McAvoy. Barrier number 1, I think he will race a bit closer here, but there does look to be a stack of speed in this race. I've got it down as a fast run race. Marway, Volpine going forward early. They don't normally loaf. Electric Girl probably won't be too far away in the early stages, so I think they will string out. Should get his chance to win. So I know he's short odds, but the sectional he ran the other day was just unbelievable.
Yeah, Mark Rhoden, we did touch on that. You don't really see last 200 metre splits bigger than what Gravina posted last start, albeit off a slow tempo, but still.
Oh, it was remarkable. And the horse he was chasing won away for age race last week quite comfortably. So
and Prime Candidate ran 3rd in the Sydney Stakes as well. So.
There you go. And Prime Candidate was a widening 2.5, 3 lengths behind Gravina last time out. And he's placed in the Sydney Stakes. Look, they make any use at all of Barrier 1, 250's luxury, I think. He just looks at the best of good things. Oh, on the proviso that he gets a path through from gate 1. There will be horses in front of him, so he's just going to need a touch of luck. But if he gets it, there's nothing on her back to beat him. I was on Bellucci Babe last start, and I thought she was okay, but I think the fact of the matter is sitting off them in a fast run 1,100 is her go. This is going to be a pressure 1,200. It might see her out again. I think Quantico's a very promising horse and going really well, but he drew the right gate at Rosehill last time on a day where it probably helped to be nearer the fence. He's drawn 10 here, and I think they just have to go back on him. But like I say, I think he's a nice horse, but I think the way this seems to set up on paper, Gravina looks the winner, and 250, where you can get 260, is a pretty good price.
Yep. Okay, that brings us to the end. I'll get your best plays, whether they be best bets, value bets, or lay bets. Mark Shean, I'll start with you.
Well, I thought Sammy was a bit of value. What's that about race number 6? Thought Ma and Pa was a lay in the same race. I think Gravina will win, and Halal, who every time I back it, it runs second or gets lost, looks a winner as well. I'm on it already, so beware anyone who's on it. I have put the mock on it.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, your best.
is Gravina. My best value, I've just lost the race here. I think it's in race 4. It's still double figure odds. I thought Ruby Tuesday would get a nice run in a reasonably open race, I thought. Oh, the other one I was quite keen on, I'd definitely lean in race 5 to Emerald Kingdom over Criadiras. That's a racing style thing. Criadiras, I think it's blinkers off, but it just seems incapable of jumping with them. So we'll be in the last couple. Emerald Kingdom is perfect racing pattern, 1400 metre expert, be right up on the speed. Great Queensland form, beaten by a very smart horse in Brisbane last start. I think he's clearly the one to beat in that.
All right, very good. Thank you to you both. We'll catch up on Monday with Rob Scurry to review the meeting. Until then, guys, enjoy the weekend and go well.